But I think I've seen him like offlane solo like a couple of times with Qualifiers, but
Safe lane some only is black type only.
Dire team's
but
turn
I
to
think
ban.
you can play Rubik, you can do all
Radiant team ban.
Horde, he can solo lane, he can solo up lane, he can roam and a little bit more despite their hero.
Dire team ban.
And so far we have to advance Templar Saxon and you're gonna be local mid.
10 seconds remaining.
They banned out.
5 seconds remaining.
Dog like
Reserve time.
The Alchemist, because like I know it's banned, but is it banned for that?
they don't low armor hero. You can easily find him in the jungle.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of him. Occasionally, I think it's okay, but
10 seconds remaining.
Force removed on the side.
5 seconds remaining.
I have not seen
Reserve time.
Disruptor!
Dire team's turn to pick.
I want to ban, but set up with this. So cancer for very painful.
10 seconds remaining.
Or maybe they just want to pick like a Luna or something.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
how does that person.
But you have to win by.
Yeah, normally what it's about disrupt.
Definitely.
Radiant
Those kind
team's
of-
turn to pick.
You can also combo like glimpse. Not easy to pull up. But
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Disruptor is not one of those.
Reserve time.
Back animation is not that great. Armor is not that. Not have a lot of things. Bane. Rubik, I think, has. As we see Clockwork pick off lane, just so you. I also think pretty good first. Picked up.
Ogre Magi!
Dire team's turn to pick.
Are they open?
Shadow. Because he's one of the few
Right.
heroes that can actually out damage. And on top of that, he has a he can like push out the and farm neutrals and check runes.
10 seconds
Magi
remaining.
there.
You want to pressure.
5 seconds remaining.
You don't with the disruptor. Not very good.
Reserve time.
Alright. Still very, very. Generally, you need
Hey!
a babysitter. Say, oh, they picked
Radiant
it.
team's turn to ban.
They won.
Only Dota was that soon.
They won.
Okay.
Honestly, I have not seen a keeper.
10 seconds remaining.
At least
bad.
3.
5 seconds remaining.
I could hear
Reserve time.
actually.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Dire team ban.
MP does not counter mana.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
like. It's gonna be very trying to run. You got another guy on a horse.
Oh, yeah, I think Keeper also feels.
10
He's
seconds
most popular
remaining.
offlaner. The ProDota, they need to ban out a safe lane
5
or,
seconds remaining.
or a good laners for
Reserve time.
Ursa is pretty common.
Well, elements other than that, Proto.
I
Just didn't
kind of like Luna.
go up against it.
I think that's not great, but Disruptor +1.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
Ursa. Damage and life. So, elements. They go up against.
They do love their
10
Slark.
seconds
I'm sure
remaining.
Swift ending Slark. Slark. Ooh, Clix. But Clix is actually really good at Keeper. I think he's one of the best heroes. One of the best. And he's also a lot of physical damage. Second one to pick Slark is-
Sports from
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team's turn to pick. Dire team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Venomancer.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Necrophos.
Radiant team's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
But Alchemist is sort of the opposite of that. He's sort of a Dragonite style where you pick him because, you know, he's this hero that doesn't really get punished by many heroes, but Storm is like perfectly fine trading farm. And he'll get a little bit more than the Alchemist. Obviously, he has Grievous Greed, so he'll get more last hits, but not less.
10
or
seconds
not more
remaining.
Net worth, but yeah, Bat Rider is the worst against Storm just because the Storm is high, very hard to get on top of him. Quite good versus
Prepare for battle.
as well as the Venom. He's a natural Orchid carrier, so you can stop them from getting off the Ghost Scepter, or what it's called, Ghost Shroud, and then stop the Venom from getting off the Poison Nova. I think Storm is quite good this game overall.
Very, very interesting drafts, and well, it's been quite a treat. There's been a lot of variety really in the qualifiers in terms of what each team is trying to bring to the forefront and find that success with. But now the draft's complete. Do you have kind of a favoured side here in this matchup? I mean, obviously in terms of teams' records, Alliance are having the better day. Do you feel that they've got the better draft in this heads-up?
Yeah, I think so. I think in general, these lineups that are very, very five-man oriented, that don't have a lot of catch, you typically tend to favor the lineups that have more options, that have more things they could potentially do. I'd say Alliance probably have the late game this game. Their lanes are quite solid. The spot lane, I think Lotus is going to have basically free farm. I don't think they can really zone Jonas and Thon out of top lane. So I think like whenever you're not absolutely crushing your lanes with a sort of a five-man lineup, and these heroes, they can split the map. They have a lot of pickup potential between like the Slaughter, the Storm, the Clockwork, a lot of ways to initiate fights. I think Alliance just have a lot more options, as well as having probably the better late game. I think it's definitely on NiP to make things happen, and they have to have very, very crisp execution in this game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the late game as well, you say that Alliance has got the better one. Even if we see Qualifiers go on one of his farm frenzy fest where he's 15k ahead of the leading farmer, do you feel that it's just not going to be enough having that on the Alchemist to deal late game with the kind of options Alliance have in terms of their heroes?
Yeah, I mean, Alchemist in general is not really a great late game hero. That hero is all about like turbo farming and hitting like 30-something minute days where you're just like unkillable and you walk down lanes, but come 10-20 minutes later, you haven't gotten an item in 10-20 minutes. And the hero naturally doesn't really have a way to stick on heroes, isn't great at actually right-clicking. He's just sort of this hero that runs in. It doesn't really take damage. Necrophos, not really the greatest of late gamers, can be good He has another right-clicking core paired up with him, but Alchemist is not really a right-clicker with a amazing scaling core in his own right.
So lane-wise, pretty much exactly what you called. Here with City going for mid-lane, putting Ras down and as you wanted, Honey, straight into the jungle. Do you feel this is this kind of greed NiP can get away with in the laning stage? You know, are we going to see Ari just do absolutely fine against this block up top in zone?
Yeah, I think it should be a reasonably even match. Obviously, as it goes a little bit later, the next one has pull a little bit ahead, but I think the Clockwork
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
will do just fine. He has a little bit more damage than Necropost, obviously. It's melee, but he has the cogs to potentially push him back, and I think maybe even get a kill at like level 3 or something like that if he's ahead of level. Even just trading a lot of attacks there might be a little bit of trouble.
Chasing down his battery. Well, creep that is going to be able to tank him. Very, very nice. He tries to block him back there with a tree. Isn't going to work out. And it looks like the region.
Oh, he cancelled the salve.
Salve cancelled. And already, I think you were saying, Jonas and Fan is certainly being able to few levels. Battery so on the cogs. It's tricky for her in this top situation now. You can't really expect any help anytime soon from Hani, who is, of course, in the jungle.
Yeah, now that he has the shrine, obviously on the Clockwork, because Necro doesn't really have access to that, throw a missile up the top or wherever. Actually, pop sometimes. Yeah, Era has the last under the tower. Not the easiest of things to do with the Necro. Can sort of build up some of the regen back now that he's level 3. That's 2 points in the Death Bolt. I get a little bit more of that regen whenever he gets these last 15 towers. Getting basically all of them, so we'll heal considerably back up, even though the South cancelled. Not as disastrous because it is on the coast.
Bottom lane EGM and Ledder tries to make a bit of a go there onto Trixie, but he was able to be there back out to tier 1. Lane them and to trade flows. 4 for 4 on them. Let's tier on the bottom. Got the ball down. Fine, Hans going to continue to stay in the neighbourhood just in case anything comes off mid. So Cinder and Koi quickly head back to shrine up. Hani, jungle progress, level 4 at the moment, so uninterrupted. And I guess, with the heroes that Alliance have, is there anything they can do to kind of go to jungle and mess with Hani, or have you just got to leave the zone answer and let him be in his zone stage? There's nothing you can do?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much he can do. Slaughter's not the greatest level 1 trading hero. Has got a pretty garbage attack animation and like pretty bad attack speed as well. And you have to know exactly what his benefit is. He gets level 2 and then you level up and you can't really trade with the next anymore. It's super hard to contest a hero like that stuff you're playing.
Gone to Aram. Incredibly low. Out of regen. Only mana for one more pulse. He's going to need to rely on getting the CS there to get the regen back up.
He's trying to push the wave spin on the Clockwork so they can dive and potentially slaughter, but then there's their back almost, so I don't think he'll be going down here. He'll be able to heal up from this wave.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
Mid lane, them still with the slight lead. Is this pretty much how you imagine this mid lane to go? Both heroes been able to find the farm, or did you expect them to have the
Radiant's middle tower
Oh yeah,
have to
he's more
take
of
this
a messing with him.
Well, that was very generous. Really came all the way up to the level of the shrine to try and make a play. But NiP more than happy to turn it around underneath the regen of it.
Yeah, I think the Storm typically will have a better time than the Alchemist if it's not getting messed with, but the Cindering comes here and throws the Ignites and sort of pops him a little bit. So, he's having a decent time though. He's, about the same CS as the Alchemist, which you're perfectly fine with as a Storm. Although there is going to be this period of time where this Venomancer goes up to like level 6, 7, just comes down to the bottom lane and starts being a pest, or maybe he could even go to mid, to be honest. The Storm doesn't really deal with these Veno wards at all, would kind of just have to leave the lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not so good.
So they're going to try and make another attempt here on Era's life. TP backup will come
Dire's
through.
bottom tower is
going
being
to be fine.
chipped away.
Pushes the burn over. Turn it around. Trixie trying to chase, but they're already back out. A couple of TPs forced out there from NiP.
Dire's bottom tower
the amount
needs
of
some
pressure
help.
that's been put on this lane, he hasn't died. And the CS is still looking pretty good for him. He's ahead of the clock. He is having the better time in this lane, despite Alliance's best effort to really try and throw him off course. Constant sending hands. Well,
Yeah, it's a hero it's pretty hard to pressure, especially once you get up to like the level 5, get 3 points in death pulls. He's constantly healing up, and if you're not 100 to zeroing him, then he's always just going to heal back up.
Someone better help
even with his
Dire's
salvaging
middle
attack at
tower.
level 1, it's like a fast incoming, and he's still just perfectly fine. Now that he has the phases, the clock can't really come to lane at all. There's not really too
Radiant's
much.
top tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
See Loda on the safe lane respectively for Alliance. He himself already finding very, very good CS. I mean, if we kind of look across the board, no one's really being slowed down in terms of the core position. I guess the one comparison you can make is Strixie was not really finding any regards to gold. Did get a few levels, but it's going to be a slow progress for this Batrider. Of course, that kind of lane deficiency is kind of offset by the fact that Han continues to have a brilliant talent. Level 7.5, nearly reaching onto level 8. I mean, what is the plan for this Venno? When does he finally leave the jungle? What's he working?
I think once quick maybe armlet. Yeah,
Yeah,
he actually has it. Alright, so yeah, he's doing it at a pretty good clip. I think maybe the Honey will rotate to mid lane and just start spamming down these wards. Force heroes
Radiant's
from
top
Alliance to
tower
rotate
has
while the
looked
Alchemists
better.
farm up the jungle freely. As Alliance, they're pretty bad at actually bringing down this Alchemist early on. And the way their lanes went with this Venno just free farming, the Necrophos having a pretty nice time top, I think NiP has a reasonable go where they can start 5-manning down these towers, or 4-manning down these towers. While the Alchemist just the jungle gets it that radiance, and then they can slowly start up this 5-man where they're just indestructible. And I think Alliance gonna be trying to look for any small pickups they can. The Clockwork just got his level 6, so they may look to make a move up from the Necrophos. I think that's a hero that they could easily bring down. It's pretty hard to kill
Radiant's
without
top
him.
tower is
He's
under
always in the
attack.
jungle, you never know where he is. I'm surprised Hani is still farming. He's level 8.
He's sticking there. I mean, it's such a great position to jungle in, isn't it? Because you're between these camps and you're not in the main jungle. You're so close to any potential backup coming through that you're just in no danger whatsoever. He's had the freest
Radiant's
top lane.
bottom tower's
Jonas
got
Fan did
problems.
one shot in. Maybe was hoping that Loda could get into position for damage, but I mean, with the two of them, it's such a hard kill and error. Already actually just TP's out of that top lane, realizes something is about to go down. Wants to try and help middle down bottom to find some action in. Moving on to EGM. And EGM, no hope for him at all.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom
I think
tower.
Error just nicely
Dire's
realizing,
top
alright, you move
tower is
Error up
under
here.
attack.
I'll just move to the other lane, take a support. By the looks of it, get an objective as well with Hani.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
and I
under
think
attack. They're beating on Dire's top tower.
Loda being up there for the Clockwork, this Horde paid huge dividends because they saw him so early
Not
on.
much good's
Venno
happening to
immediately
Radiant's bottom
started running down
tower.
the bottom once they saw
Are
that.
those cracks in
Now the
Dire's
Venno
top
actually
tower?
as well, so potentially TP up to the top line, although this tower is kind
I
of
guess
a death
Radiant
trap
fortified
nowadays,
their
so I think they may just
structures.
let this go.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is
take
under
control
attack.
of the Radiant jungle.
Dire have
And
fortified
this
their
Alchemist
structures.
is just so farmed. He has 2.4k gold on top of the armor.
They're
They're
beating on
definitely
Dire's
setting up
top
a good game
tower.
there. They have this super strong 5-man, and Alliance don't really have the tools to defend it. They have a lot of kill potential. They can potentially
Dire's top tower is
bring down
gone.
these heroes, but as
Just
far
a
as
cold
tipping
fog
them
left
down
behind.
or delaying the push, they're not really that great. They kind of just go all in and they kill heroes, or they don't do anything at all.
Grix is just going to look to clear this camp. It will give him the level 6 to have that so online. Down at the edges. He's going to make an attempt on this. The hook shot. It may not matter. They'll surround him in the cockpit. Take him down. Rush on the other trying to hold him back, but Hani coming in with a very nice hold on to 3 heroes. Now Necro out down 1 and Slardar's taken away. And
So
with
fast.
the chase down, they may just get more. The shrine is unavailable for Alliance. Jonas and Fan. He drops Hani with the ward snipe. Oh my goodness. The jungle Venno. It's going to be an all your pubsy stint. Having a great start.
He is extremely farmed. He actually has an
He's
entire
got
mech.
He's
got
got
a
the
mech.
entire. Oh my goodness. Well, 10 minutes in. That's disgusting.
10-minute jungle mech. The Alchemist is 1,400 gold from the relics, so
Got so much
A
money.
golden thread.
Radiant's bottom
yeah,
tower's
they
got
were
problems.
they definitely have a timing. Their lanes worked out quite well. This Venno getting as much farm as he did. The Slardar didn't really get that much done early on. He's farming towards his blink now, so we'll give them a little bit of fighting potential once he has that online. But
even that, I mean, you know, you're jumping into a potential
A
Necro not dying,
soldier's
surviving,
fortune.
hurting you. You're jumping into Venomancer just appearing out of nowhere. It's very hard to disengage after getting a pick off.
yeah,
It's a bit of a nightmare.
yeah, I think that's sort of the thing about Alliance's lineup as we talked about. They're like very much like they're all gonna jump in and they're gonna kill heroes and like win the fight very quickly by everyone's jumping in, blowing heroes up. Whenever you burst a Necropulse, a Venomancer, heroes that say, "Come at me, run at me, I'll press my R button," and you know, and it's very hard for them to commit into this Veno ult. And you're not killing this Veno instantly. He has a Mac.
That does have a hook. Hardy's there as well. And it's off. And Veda will be forced to back off. Now he's got a wrap around here from the rest of NiP and back for himself. Away to the creeps with the lassos there from Trixie. And around the clock, in comes Arrow with that lovely ultimate to knock him down for 40 seconds.
Sepsis.
And NiP, it's
Dire's
It
middle
really
tower
has
isn't
been
going to last long.
the start that they
It
wanted.
looks like Dire
The-
fortified their structure.
The lineup seems to have dealt perfectly with what Alliance had
Dire's
in terms
middle
of strength
tower
and
is
many
under
stages.
attack.
The greed, the alchemist, and the Venom in the jungle has not been punished at all.
Yeah, that's
Dire's
type of
bottom
greed that's
tower is
good.
being chipped
You know,
away.
it's greedy for a little bit early on,
Radiant's
but
top
it's not
tower
massively
has
punished.
looked
And
better.
now this Veno has a Mac, and he's not really greedy anymore.
Dire's bottom tower
Strong
has
to go around,
shattered
do
to
whatever he
little
wants on
pieces.
the map, pressure all these
Radiant's
lanes.
top tower
And even though he was
deserves
in the
just
jungle
as
for a
much help
very
as
long time,
bottom.
he benefited level 5, 7.
Someone better
Stayed
help
in there a
Dire's
little bit
middle
longer.
tower.
Knew there was no need to rush anything. Now he's gonna sit up top lane and just force heroes to be here. So annoying about this Venom.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
They want to farm by doing that, but Venom just sits here and they force this Clockwork to be at the tower, so they know they're getting anywhere.
And I think, kind of as you mentioned earlier, if you're Alliance, you're waiting on those tools for initiation. One of them has just come in, as Handscan has now got the Blink Dagger. But as we also mentioned, it's going to be very hard for him to find a clear opening that he can go in and guarantee that his team can find the kill before NiP have the chance of turning it around. As NiP grouping up mid, they have the ultimate from the Hardy ready to go, level 2 as well now at this stage.
Radiant's middle tower
So
could use
it's
some
very
help.
hard for Alliance to defend against
Radiant
this kind of push.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, they can't even really fight into this either.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They potentially go to Rojan, although it's kind of slow.
Where did Radiant's middle tower go?
And Alliance is just really not in shape to fight it. Limp is slowly working on the Bloodstone. Is about 300-400 away now, so it's still pretty far
Radiant's
from the
middle
Storm
tower
Fury.
shouldn't have to take this
But
abuse.
compared to how massively farmed this Veno is, how skyrocketed the Alchemist is having a 12-minute
Classic point.
Radiant's middle
Armlet
tower
Radiance
is under attack.
had a free lane, and they set up this Alchemist perfectly, giving him these lanes that
Radiant's middle tower
pressure on
shouldn't
their
have
own,
to take
so no
this
one had the
abuse.
potential to rotate on
Radiant
the top.
have fortified their structures.
And all the jumps that came through on it had some stacks, and now they're just gonna take the T2 for free. in 30
Radiant's middle
minutes.
tower could use some help.
Yep, there's nothing that Alliance can do apart from just try and find as much. as
Radiant's
they
middle
can.
tower has fallen.
You know, Loader pushing down bottom, he's trying to frantically finish off a Link Spit. That is the fan up top again. Very sound Midas. We did see it earlier in the day from himself on the Clockwork. They did win that game. I mean, are you a fan of that on Clockwork? Just the straight Midas rush each and every time? Or do you feel it should be situational?
I think it is situational. I think he had the blade milk queued up a little bit earlier, but I think realizing the state of this game that if we're winning this game, we're not winning this game. Incoming! And that's sort of the thing with these lineups. They get super far ahead. You see like everybody racking up on gold. You always have to think about how are they winning the game, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to just like push up high ground into Avenge, who can hook you out or can swap you out, and they hook you in the base, and you're kind of just trapped there. The Slaughter Crush is going to constantly be coming in, so snipe your backline heroes. So they want to get Aegis, they want Venom just to be massively farmed, potentially get a Solar Crest, put it on the Alchemist, he just walks up on the high ground.
I'm over here.
They're going to be looking towards that goal, and if Alliance gets to the point where their core is strong enough to start bringing down these heroes, where they actually have kill potential. The Storm gets an Orchid, although that is quite far away, and it's an entire 4k gold, but if they get to that, then maybe they can start bringing down these supports. take these fights whenever NiP does get to that point where they're going to start forcing the high ground.
So they're going to try and go for a smoke with it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Finding target. Very good way to kick off the action. Everybody throwing themselves in on making sure that there's no chance for Hardy to do anything in response.
Yeah, that's like the optimal kill. You bring down the Veno, start of the fight.
Radiant's top
They,
tower
they
has
don't
looked
have
better.
like this massive counterplay where you jump into them and he presses R and then everybody dies.
I mean, they may
Dire's
have
bottom
killed, but
tower
that
needs
he's
some
still
help.
got a 15 minutes Guardian Greaves completed. Just managed to pick that up on the way down.
Yeah, I like
That's
going for
great.
this Guardian Greaves before going for something like the Solar Crest because of the potential of like the Storm getting
I mean, yeah,
Orchid.
you've got to throw the stuns at him, otherwise he's going to be able to ult every team fight.
Yeah, if you can purge up the amplified damage as well, so if
Yeah.
he's not getting 100 to 0, it's going to be very, very hard to kill, especially with the extra Guardian Greaves regen, all that armor. He's super tanky.
A golden thread.
More net worth for Loader at the moment. Very close between the two of them. Obviously a lot of that is down to the fact that they have taken Towers Alliance themselves. Have managed to take 2 good ones. But, very close on finishing off that Lincoln Sphere. And that is certainly going to be one of the saving graces really for Alliance's lineup as we talked about. In terms of what catch for the Weaver, Loader's got a pretty free game in terms of getting himself around. There's still quite a bit of AoE damage though that he does have to be aware of that it's going to be a nuisance. But Loader can certainly play his way around in that job.
Yeah, once he has some items, then he's definitely going to have a pretty nice time in this game. As of now, it's kind of weird because it's hard for him to actually get around him inside any damage. They have so much, like, they have so much damage whenever you run into them. They don't really have damage. Like, they can't really jump on you and kill you, but if you run at them, then they will kill you. And that's exactly what Alliance wants to do, so for
Roshan's
now,
down.
the Lincoln
More talent.
basically making him ungankable, so they're really splitting these lanes, trying to split the map as much as possible with Storm and Beaver. These really mobile cores, and they definitely have the means to do so. Just sort of a waiting game right now. See if Alliance can get any of these pickoffs as they split the map because they have the heroes to do so. So, you know, NiP, they had a great start. They had the start they needed, but if they aren't able to get to that stage where they can 5-man, take the racks, you know, get that first set, probably with this Aegis they want to, maybe the next one, but with that next one, it's gonna start to get hard.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, as you said at the start of this game, you still feel that if Alliance can prolong this game, at the end of the day, that's going to be better for their situation, for the way that they're building and playing.
Yeah, whenever you're playing versus Storm and Weaver and you're playing a lineup with no catch, it's a ticking time bomb. Before heroes start getting out of hand, you're playing this Ogre and Veno supports, and you feel really good now. This Ogre probably doesn't feel great now, but as the game goes farther on and on, the Storm just kills the Ogre at the start of every fight, or kills the Veno at the start of every fight. It's gonna start becoming really, really miserable. As you can see, everybody from NiP moves on the bottom, and everyone from Alliance goes on the top. So they continue to split the lanes, farm up on these cores. We were actually going for a Maelstrom, so even more farming potential. Not going for any single target.
Oh wow!
Just gonna try and scale as much as possible.
And I guess it does help against the imminent pressure that Ninjas and Pajamas have.
Radiant's bottom tower's got problems. Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Having to break through those out. Well, NiP got forward for Trick.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Knocks down one, and they're going to see if they can try them for a second. EGM trying to hold back Tricks with the magic missile. Error, and the boys surrounding EGM, trying to swap his way out.
Radiant's bottom tower is no more.
They'll lose too.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Bye-bye.
We'll try and find a tier 2 in return.
Not much good's happening to
NiP
Radiant's
can put on
bottom
the pressure
tower.
here. Lance going to be
Dire's
giving
top tower is under attack.
rules of defense. He's getting dressed. Lim coming forward,
Beating on Dire's
usually
top
multicasted
tower.
up. And in fact, he just
Not
goes
much
down.
good's happening to
The damage
Radiant's
is too
bottom
much.
tower.
I mean, we talked about the lack of lockdown, but once it gets good multicast,
Dire's top
they
tower
have more
has
than enough
fallen.
time to kill the Storm Spirit.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower's got
NiP.
problems.
They should get away with at least this tier 3. We'll see what Alliance can do. They do still have a fortification Alliance. They're holding on to it at the
Radiant's
moment.
bottom tower has
They are just going to
fallen.
let the tier 3 fall. NiP will now have the full 5-man of Alliance to deal with. Back on the plate, but WellPlay doesn't care. He's chopping into his rack. Holds back EGM with a concoction. And NiP, 20 minutes to make it away with the Simpson. Tries going on strict with the backup of Loader. They do take down the bat. But the melee racks are down. NiP got what they came for. WellPlay still sticking around on the front line. Burning EGM low with the radius. And jumping forward with the death pulse. Oh, he's
attacking
taking
Radiant's
him
bottom
down.
down.
Forces Alliance back to base. Hand scan comes in,
Radiant's bottom barracks
to
have
the
fallen.
ground. He's a mile off from error. At NiP, they've cleaned out the entirety of the bottom racks. And they're not done yet. They just move straight on to middle.
Yeah, they can't jump into them on the line. They weren't able to flip off my soul, I could say that.
They're trying to make the best better. They're going into error, but immediately the ult from Arnie comes out the heels from error. Jonas the fan, up goes across, bringing error down low. Will find a kill off the Necrocross, but the rest of the line is dead. Loda will buy back. He's trying to head himself over to help out, but Jonas and fans are full. The Greaves are popped. And NiP looking very, very good at the moment. Trixie jumps forward, grabs EGM with the lasso, back into the clutches of his teammate. And NiP executing this exactly as you said they needed to, CCNC. Just ramping it up, putting the pressure on. They are doing their best. They're not going to let this one go late at this rate.
Yeah, they know that if this game goes, you know, past 30, 35 minutes, things start getting hairy. These lanes get pushed out very, very quickly by the Storm and Weavers. So they hit that timing. They take the first set of racks, take the T3. Now we can try and get even more map control. They're definitely not out of the woods yet. This game is still winnable for Alliance. They're definitely in a better position on NiP, but it's definitely still losable. They have the Blade Mail and the Clockwork now, so potentially have a little bit more kill potential. The bounce back of the Acid Spray and the Radiant kind of nice.
Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
Obviously, you get versus the Venomancer, but he doesn't really care so much. He's just sort of a sponge. He just walks into the fight, presses R, and his job is done.
What do you think about the build that Arrow went for in this pace of the game? Well, is this not usual for phase drums Veil, or is this very much just because of the tempo they're trying to dictate this?
I think the Veil is an item that's commonly picked up. Drums with I won't never see anymore. It's kind of just been eclipsed by like HOD and then Veil. It's an item that's picked up a lot more drums nowadays. But I think he just sort of wanted to synergize with movement speed a little bit, having like the Bloodlust, the Bat Rider. You know, because if they can't really like just catch you and blow you up, and they kind of just want to run you down, what they did. And a lot of these earlier fights, whenever they killed the Slaughter and the Venge, the initial racks. I think the Blink is alright, gives them that little bit of catch they kind of need and lack the mobility. So just a lot of like filling up the shortcomings.
There we go again, NiP revving up for another high ground.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Drop to tier 3. Alliance were putting some pressure up on the top lane, but the ball backed up now.
I'm over here.
They can't afford to lose a second set of racks.
Are those cracks in Dire's top
Starting to make it so they
tower?
have no chance of being dragged in by Lim. NiP being much more cautious this time round. May see if Trixie can get the pick off to kick things off. He's up with the Firefly. They do have the vision on the high ground. It will be taken down by Loda. Making it a little harder for Trixie to find an opening, but it may not matter. Trixie just goes back in on the rack. Fortification will come out. Again going forward, but again, just with the Manta style. So many issues. Viper has been swapped in, but the damage to bring him down. He's amplified up, forced away once, and he'll just go back to hitting the racks. Jonas sometimes came in on the back line, little bit of Hardy. The ult comes out for the Veno. Error chops him down with the side. And NiP, they'll clean up a second set of racks. 23 minutes
Radiant's
in.
middle barracks
Jonas
have
have found with no
fallen.
buyback for a minute. And I mean, this is just NiP absolutely dominating Alliance, it feels, in this game. Is this a drafting thing? Is it just, were Alliance not prepared for this?
I think the Nectar kind of took it for a curveball.
Yeah.
I
Radiant's
think
top
they
tower
expected
is
the
under
Venom to be
attack.
baseline. They were kind of prepared for that. They have the Clockwork. They can like have a decent time up
Radiant's
top.
top tower has fallen.
But I think whenever the Venom entered the jungle, the Slaughter, I don't know if he tried to find him in the jungle and harass him, but he was over on the right side. And so he just had this free time, and then once the Venom entered, you have to be with him at the start or not at all. Too late.
Got Alliance trying to fight on the back line here. Trying to finish off Cinder, but they can't quite do it. Lim will finally bring him down with his giant blow, but immediately buying back. Cinder is going to come back into the fray. Oyster just moves forward.
Looks like someone disconnected.
As Alliance is falling apart, they tap out. 25 minutes in, 20 to 5. NiP with a draft that was just the perfect answer for what Alliance wanted to do this game. Alliance, they didn't have a chance from the lanes on.